What is up, guys? In this video I'll be finishing up the front end on this build. That is fully welding up the bumper, fabricating the steering, and hopefully being able to ride this thing by the end. To get you up to speed, or if you're new, I'm converting this tricycle to a four-wheel bike. Now this tricycle is old, but it isn't an antique or a rare frame, so I don't feel bad for modifying the frame. If you're planning on doing something like this, something similar, I highly recommend using a tricycle as the base. 50% of the work is already done for you. All you have to do is fab up the front end. If you use a bicycle as your base, you'll have to fab both the rear and the front. So save yourself some time and use a tricycle as your base. Okay, so I ran into a problem here. Now, originally I wanted to put this bearing down here, and that way, you know, the shaft is steering shaft is supported. But my problem is this shaft, well, this tubing that I welded on, it's not really centered. I thought it was. Let me show you. There's a little bit of wobble in it, and that's a problem because if there's wobble in this, there's going to be wobble in this, and that's bolted down. It's just going to bind up on the bearing. So it doesn't look like, well, I can either cut this off and redo it, but I don't have precision tools to make sure that this is absolutely centered so I get no binding. So I'm probably just going to ditch the bearing down here. It's not needed. There's two bearings up here that hold the shaft in place. So I don't need this. All this was just a, you know, just for support. But it's not crucial to have the bearing down here because I got two up here. I'm going to have to ditch this bearing, or ditch this setup down here, and just run the shaft just like this out to the wheels. Yes, I don't have brakes yet. My brake cables are too short, so I need to go get longer cables. But I'm not gonna wait. I want to ride this thing. Maybe I shouldn't go down this hill without brakes. Oh, jeez. So this thing has absolutely abysmal turning radius. It's comparable to that of a car. That's okay. It's easy fix. I'm going to lengthen the tie rods and move the pivot points closer to the kingpin so I can get a 1-to-1 turn ratio. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's like, if I'm to guess, it's probably a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 right now. It's smooth to turn, and paired with that 4-stroke motor, it's a great riding experience. Besides the steering, this thing is actually pretty great. And yes, it is narrow enough to fit on the sidewalk. Just hope there's no one walking on the other side, or you'll end up running them over. Because of the fourth wheel, this thing doesn't feel as top heavy. I can corner a heck of a lot better. And ultimately, I prefer this fourth wheel up there. The trikes, they're known to be extremely top heavy. You will flip on them. Any corner you go through, you will flip. So, but I don't get that feeling with this. Now I didn't do a top speed run for obvious reasons, I don't have brakes. But I did try to do some little turn tests, what turns I could do with that crazy turn radius. But it felt pretty nice. I didn't feel like I was going to turn over. That's probably because the front end's pretty heavy and it's pretty stable, so I don't have to worry about flipping over. Anyways, I'm gonna fix that steering radius and hook up the brakes off the camera. That's something that you guys probably don't want to see. It's such a small little issue. In the next video, this thing will be ready to rip, hopefully. I'll probably paint it, probably not. I'm a little lazy when it comes to painting. Maybe at some point I'll paint it. But that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.